Hey, it's Steve. Car thoughts. Been a minute, but I had a thought today. I like high school sports. Why do I like high school sports? And primarily, why do I enjoy watching my boys play high school sports? One, they're my boys and it's just fun. But two, it's very interesting to watch them in the environments that they're in. And it made me think this morning, based on watching some interactions this week with my boys in sports, how environment you're in pushes you or holds you back. Let me explain a little bit. So Sawyer is into tennis, which I'm pretty proud of, obviously. But he's doing tennis, right? And he and I were doing what's called cardio tennis. Each Monday we would go, and sometimes on Saturdays, and basically you're running around for an hour and a half hitting tennis balls against other players. And he was the only high schooler that were playing with people my age, 30s, 40s, 50s, some significantly better tennis players than both of us. Like, we were on the bottom of the list, right? But the amount of knowledge that he learned and the growth from doing that over basically a 2-month period or so was just phenomenal, right? And then understandably they said, you know what, like, this is really for 18-year-olds and more, so we're gonna tell you Sawyer can't come anymore. But there is this class, which is NVP's elite class, and he can play with other high schoolers, which I was like, cool, all right. So he starts playing with the high schoolers, and I watched him yesterday, and nothing wrong with the class, nothing wrong with the kids, but he has lowered himself to their level. And what I mean by that is watching him play with the other kids that are actually not as good as him, or how he played when he was playing people that were better than him. He did not have the same energy yesterday. He didn't excel. He just stood around a little bit more because that's what everybody else did around him, right? And so actually he played probably worse or at the middle of the pack of the group that he was with, even though I know he's on the top end of the pack, if not one of the best kids. But he doesn't show that because of the environment he's in. We'll have a talk about that obviously soon, but same with Elliot. Elliot is playing basketball, and it's not Elliot per se, because Elliot has not gotten enough playtime in, but his team have significantly lost most of their games this year. He's in freshman basketball, and there's a lot, there's just a lot of kids that are learning, and so they're being dominated by most teams until last week. And last week, their environment changed. What changed? Well, one of the JV kids, who actually is a freshman, moved back down to the freshman team to get some more play time, and just really was excited about playing for the freshman coach, and just felt like it was a better environment for him to play in. And the team was completely different. One kid that excels and took leadership and knew where the team needed to be, everyone followed suit, and everyone then rised. Everyone played better. There was less turnovers. Everyone was more aggressive. Everybody knew where they needed to be because leadership helped them rise, and the environment changed. So it just really is amazing to watch at that level what environments we put ourselves in and the people around us, how different these two 15-year-olds act, where they don't even realize, right? They're 15. They realize something's off, but they don't understand why. How often do we do that? I just wonder, how often do we settle into an environment that we feel comfortable in because it actually isn't challenging? It just gets us up in the morning. We do the job so we can do something else. Or how often do we put ourselves in environments that degrade our abilities, that we actually could excel and do more things with our lives, to use the gifts God has given us to a higher level, but instead we're comfortable, or we choose not to, or we just have gotten into a pattern that we don't realize that the environment we're in is not helping us succeed. Take stock, guys. Take a minute, or this 5 as I'm ranting about this, to review the people around you and determine if the environment and people that surround you are all growing and are all choosing bigger. That doesn't mean like tons of more time and tons of more energy and I'm gonna crush the world. Like I get those speakers and they're get up at 5 a.m., work out 3 times a week. We all know those people, right? And that's great for that alpha person that wants to be that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think there's an environment in which we can do something close to that without feeling like we are not worthy because we don't do all the things. But I do think that environment matters. Think about your environment. If you're in an environment that doesn't suit you anymore and you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than willing to chat. It's fun to understand people, what their goals and inspirations are, and just point a couple different directions to say, have you thought of this? Or have you thought of that? I'm consistently looking at environments. I have changed environments quite often over the last 15, 20 years of doing real estate to find what is healthy. And that's great. And that's good. So this is Car Thoughts, a whole 7 minutes worth of environment conversations. If you made it through the whole 7 minutes, give me a heart and thumb emoji response. I wonder if I'll get like 2 or something. That'd be fun. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope you guys are well. See ya.